Welcome to the Flights of the Round Table Podcast, broadcasting from the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. And now, here are your hosts, Dan, Drew, Daniel, and Florian.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is episode 41 of the Flights of the Round Table Podcast. Do you guys like money?
Yes. I love money.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you guys like football?
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you like winning money watching football?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an ad.
Yeah.
Well, folks, stay tuned because later in the episode, Daniel is going to have his lock of the week. So grab a beer, open up your ears because we are damn excited to be back together.
Boom, baby. You guys hear here first.
I like that. Damn, what a hook.
Like
It turned me on a little bit.
that?
God, you're like a bass that I just caught out of Lake Wiley. I mean, you're hooked.
Oh, my God. You have to do an analogy for everything.
Yeah, it wasn't even my best
Analogies rule the world, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Everybody, welcome in. This is the Flights of the Round Table Podcast coming at you live from the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. If you are new here, welcome in. Follow us at FOTRT Podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, or social media. Guys, today we got a good one for you. We're going to rank a few things. We're going to talk about some funny news. We're going to make some picks in the NFL. Like Dan said, we're going to, give a little bet in with Daniel.
Maybe
And,
play a little game, too.
And play a little game.
So stay tuned for that.
If you had one word to describe the game we're going to play, what would you say?
Sugar.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay.
Candyland?
Wow.
I don't want to say too much, so I'm going to just say that one
No,
word.
that's a good one. Whoever's watching, they're guessing like, what the fuck does he mean by sugar? It can mean anything.
Yes,
I could
stay
go
tuned.
any
It's going to
way.
be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, I want to get everybody's just instant reactions. We'll go in more depth detail, but one word that describes this past week of football that you watched. Just one word. What would you say kind of encompasses all the action that you watched?
Expectations met.
Expectations met. Okay. Daniel?
I'm satisfied.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't know what else to say than that.
Satisfied. Okay.
Long awaited. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
I think confused.
Confused.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
Wow.
Because I thought of last week as preseason week 4 was how I viewed week 1.
Okay.
I think you're going to see offenses that didn't play well this past week truly show up this week in those teams where you're like, oh my God. Like this happened to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers last year. So, and we're going to get into that, but I just wanted to get kind of everybody's overall reaction, kind of one word, even though mine was a long-winded week.
It was a crazy week, and like we said last week, people, people, so general. We are going to talk about more football now that it is football season, but we're definitely going to have some whimsical shit. We're going to do some things we always do, okay?
Some whimsical shit.
And we're going to start that today with some news. So every year, Webster's Dictionary gets new words added to it.
Really?
It's fall. Football's here. It's coming up. And the newest word that is now an official English dictionary word is pumpkin spice.
Really?
Pumpkin hyphen or dash spice.
I think this is out of control.
I think
I'm
that
calling
should
the
be a
police.
word. No, I don't. I think that's so like, you know what? We have like a pumpkin spice in our lineup today. So basically, it's pumpkin and spices. So I would just say pumpkin spice there. So maybe it should be a word.
It's so like nauseating whenever that stupid pumpkin spice season comes around. You have all the girls posting the TikToks and Starbucks and other places broadcasting like brews. Oh, we have pumpkin spice in our beer. That's going to appeal to everybody. Whenever it realistically, like, I can't stand the smell of pumpkin anymore because one fall season I had way too many pumpkin beers, and now like the smell makes me sick.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna hate on the pumpkin stuff with the girls like that. Let Dan do that. But yeah, I like the pumpkins and the pumpkin.
It starts way
the
too
girls
early. It
and-
starts end of August. I mean, we're second week of September now. It's been happening for like
Right.
a week and a half now, 2
The
weeks.
prime visual for pumpkins is not till like late October, So we're like super early.
That's true.
You want to know what pisses me off? Just speaking on the pumpkin topic.
What?
Those breweries that put fall beers into stores in July.
Okay, that's fair. That pisses me off.
That is like you walk in, you're going to get like maybe like a like a lake beer. Like, you're like, ooh, like maybe a Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, or you just want like a nice session IPA. You walk in, you have all those pumpkin beers, and it's just, I get really mad. Yeah. Like, really mad at
So you're talking grocery stores, or you're talking craft beer shops?
Everywhere.
I mean, we're almost in fall, so my birthday lands on the day of fall every year.
Yeah.
So we're basically almost there, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate on sexy girls with some pumpkins, okay, Dan? Sorry.
Neither am I.
Fair.
Like I said, I think this is ridiculous. This is why like America is laughed at. Pumpkin spice is now a word in our dictionary. There is a meaning to it.
But the words pumpkin and spice already exist. This is just the combo of the two with the dash in the middle.
Exactly.
That's it.
You should be able to differentiate the two. Put it together and understand what's going on here. And the funniest thing too is pumpkin spice. It has like nothing to do with pumpkin. It's like cinnamon, allspice, and nutmeg, like together.
Well, what if pumpkin spice was an actual spice, and that's why they put it in there? Now we got to look that up, because now I'm curious.
Somebody's going to make a seasoning for that. It's going to happen. Like Trader Joe's is going to come out with like a pumpkin spice
truffle salt.
Exactly.
All I have to say is the person that invented this pumpkin spice is pissed off at us right now. I could tell you that.
Well, that person's also a genius, because I'm sure wherever he probably has that trademarked or whatever he does, and he probably gets paid a lot of money during the fall.
That's true.
He probably does. What if we change our name to Flights of the Pumpkin Spice?
What do I think of that? I don't think anything of it.
Just for like 4 weeks of the year, October 1st to 28th, pumpkin spice.
I don't like that one bit.
Yeah.
No.
We're not doing that.
I mean, we want to get with the times, right?
If Dan is sick with the beer, he's going to be sick of this podcast by the end of the month.
Yeah, speaking of that, I want to know what happened that night.
So you ever heard of like Southern Tier Pumpkin? Mm-hmm. So one of the girls Karen used to work with in college, her boyfriend who's a cop now, used to get like just boxes of it. So we went over there one night like for football or just to hang out, and he breaks it out, and I was like, okay, like, yeah, this is fine. But he would bring it out every time we would go over. So one of the times I took a sip of it and we were outside, I immediately went like, and now like I can't.
Sound like a cat.
Like Drew will attest, folks. We're gonna get into the beers here a little bit down the line, but there's a beer that we have that has hints of pumpkin in it. It made my nostrils quill a little bit because I just can't. So it was too much pumpkin beer that just made me get sick. And as you guys know, with whether it's alcohol or foods or whatever, you don't want to eat it anymore.
And you don't want the quill.
Yeah.
I suppose that.
The quill. What an
quill pen.
adjective for what happened to your nose then.
Yeah, see, I was thinking you were going to say, like, you got so drunk and, like, black out off, like, 16 pumpkin beers. And I was like, okay,
Oh, God.
That's a reason why you would not want to drink
that's a
pumpkin
really
beer.
heavy, like drunken
I don't even
stupor,
think
right? Your stomach is full.
Yeah, you
of
might look
those.
like a pumpkin.
Yeah, your face turns really orange, right? Like all the spice rushing to your head.
You turn into Violet from Willy Wonka, but you turn orange instead.
Yeah.
You could smell the cinnamon from a mile away.
Just start peeing orange, too.
Yeah, it's like a variant of COVID. It's the pumpkin girl.
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was that was definitely a rough time here. But we're in the fall, and we had some wonderful games from this past weekend. I know I wanted to hear just one word, but you guys previewed some games last week, and we can recap those, but I also want to recap like some of the big moments that really stood out to you guys. From whatever game it was. Was there one play that you saw was like, okay, and I'll go quick. For me, I already previewed it to you guys. The Packers defense having, I think it was either Frank Clark or number 91 from the defensive line lined up against Justin Jefferson was the funniest picture. One of the funniest pictures I've ever seen, because you're going, dude, he has like 158 yards. Like, what do you guys expect him to do? Are you just gonna keep doing this? And it was just it was hard to figure out what their game plan was and why on earth Jair Alexander was not shadowing Justin Jefferson the entire fucking game. So
That's true. I like that point, and he had a great game.
He did.
He was on my fantasy team, and he did great. So over some 30-something points. So
That's pretty good.
Is that like your biggest takeaway, Dan? I mean, I feel like that's like a small little
no,
thing to a game.
well, I don't want to like hog the conversation, but I feel like I haven't been with you guys for weeks. So I feel like I just have a lot to say. I think biggest.
Start us off a little appetizer there, yeah.
Yeah, I think biggest takeaway would be, I'm not getting fooled just yet by teams.
Yeah.
With Russell Wilson and the Broncos last night and the Seahawks. Good for the Seahawks. They won the game. It looked like there was a not very good chemistry. The running backs kept putting the ball on the ground. So I'm not overreacting about them just yet. Same with the Raiders. I know we talked about how stacked that division is. I still think it's stacked. You saw it, guys. You saw what the Chiefs did. Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns to that Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absurd.
They didn't need him. They have Kelsey.
Yeah, and they have... Well, who else scored? Did Boo Boo Smith-Schuster score?
No,
Boo-boo.
he didn't.
I don't think he did anything.
No, because he's on my fantasy team. He didn't. I mean, he got like, I don't know, 9, almost 10 points, maybe. I mean, as like a flex, he could have done you a little something, but no, he didn't have anything spectacular.
Yeah, it's chump change. I think for me, the biggest takeaway is just I am so done with Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
Just so done.
yeah, that's God.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he is so overrated.
Yeah, he really is.
It was broken though. It was broken.
But I don't. That's part of it, though. It's
But
like,
yeah, I agree.
you know, and the thing is, I'm not saying he's a horrible quarterback, but he's overrated, and he's never, ever, ever, ever going to win the Dallas Cowboys a Super Bowl. They have made the playoffs 3 of the 6 years that he's supposed to be in. He has been injured now 2 of the 7 years for a substantial time. I mean, you're looking at 20% right there. I mean, he took the franchise tag a couple times. He's just so overrated. And all you hear about is the Cowboys and who is the head leader of the football team of that, Dak. And he never does any big plays. He doesn't have an arm like Herbert, Burrow, Mahomes. He can't run like Newton or Lamar or even Allen. There's just nothing elite about Dak Prescott.
100%.
Like, Cowboys need to
all
ship
around
him out,
very average.
move him on. Like, he is so overrated.
Yeah.
And now he gets injured.
He's
I've
like
been
a
saying that
slightly
forever.
more athletic Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins, the expectations.
Kirk Cousins has a better arm.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is better than in running and throwing.
No, running, come on.
Running,
now, that's
no.
asinine. What, in what?
All right, it's close. It's not that far away though.
I wouldn't say
And you
that.
want to know what proves my point even more? He is 1-3 in the playoffs. So it's not
Yeah.
like you're even getting to the Super Bowl. You're not even getting to the second round.
Yeah, you're not
like,
even
what
getting to-
about Dak Prescott makes you want him to be your long-term answer for the Cowboys?
Hey,
Mind-boggling.
hey, who cares what the Cowboys do? What the Cowboys do?
Yeah,
dude,
let him
I
be
think everyone
America's
in-
team and not go far.
Yeah.
Guys, it's I wish nothing but the best for Dak, and I'm so hurt that the Cowboys are going to be bad this season. It really makes me sad. No, fuck that. It's funny. I saw something. Cowboys fans used to clown when Carson Wentz was on the Eagles that he was injury prone, but Dak has had 2 major injuries over the last couple seasons. So I mean, the shoe now. Look how the turntables have turned, motherfuckers.
Exactly. Is he a DJ? 'Cause they're turning.
I would say my biggest thing, I'm not sure if it's just because now this is the second year where we have 17 regular season games, right? That I think NFL teams are just used to 4 preseason games that they treat week 1 as preseason, Like, I don't know if that's my takeaway. And specifically towards the Bengals, right? I can't explain that game that they had. I can't explain Joe Burrow with 4 interceptions and a fumble, if I'm not mistaken.
5 turnovers.
5 turnovers.
2 missed field goals.
I can't explain, or is it like a Super Bowl hangover? Are they going to really have a Super Bowl hangover? Like, I don't know where I sit on that yet, but I think either one could be true. I think it's very likely one of those 2 things is true, right? Just because the Packers, again, you saw what the Packers did last year. They had a stinker against New Orleans for week 1 and then won 12 out of 15 games or whatever
Hey,
it was.
the Packers have the Bears next week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bears. You're about to
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to start Jones.
Aaron
Aaron
Jones?
Jones,
Yeah.
the running back, yeah.
Yeah, and I think 5 underdogs won right out this week. So that's 5 of 15, 33% of underdogs won week 1. So that's like something to think about next year.
Yeah.
A couple teams are a few pieces away. One of the things I was disappointed about was how the Jaguars played down the stretch.
I didn't even watch the highlights of that game.
They-
Did they look bad?
I mean, they were up what? They were up
9
they
or
were-
12.
9. I think they were up 9.
Okay.
And the Commanders, who are a better team, I think all around, came back and won that game. But as we talked about this offseason, when you have your Super Bowl winning head coach and all those pieces that you added to the team, and I'm talking with my hands so much, all those pieces that you added to the team, you got to do a better job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hats off to the Commanders. Great win. Carson Wentz looked suspect, but they won the game. I think they got to do a better job, and that goes on the coach.
I agree, but the one player they did sign this offseason for the most money, Christian Kirk, actually came to play, right? That's the one positive you could take away if you're a Jags fan. I mean,
that is
don't
true.
you think?
No, 100%. And I'm glad I picked him up in fantasy.
So how did Lawrence look?
Mids.
Nothing
about it suggests, like, I don't think it's time to worry, but this past week was like a step to making yourself worry.
Yeah, like this is.
Does that make sense?
If this season is a stinker too, right? Then it's time to worry,
right?
Because of the expectations of that guy,
right? But like you said, Flo, Burrow threw 4 interceptions and a fumble. Like, so let's digest this slowly. Consistency will be key.
Yeah, but he gets leeway. He just went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. He's cool.
I mean, yeah.
Did you guys see the bad bet that came out of that game?
No.
And Dana, I want to get to you, but I just want to say this bad bet. So ETN's receiving yards were like 20 and a half.
Uh-huh.
So he had 21 and then got hit and fumbled and lost 5 yards towards the end of the game and then didn't get any more receiving yards. Could you imagine? You have like a big parlay. You hit everything. You're going, okay, and you watch just like, no.
And then,
Yeah, that sucks.
I saw that play.
That would make a grown man cry.
I saw that play. I remember that play. Yeah.
what's the thing that stood out to you the most?
What did stand out the most to me? Well, I would have to say Panthers and Baker. He came to play in the fourth, but I mean, it took him a while, but I think he might be good for the Panthers. He might be.
Okay.
He might just be.
You got to hope that they build
false hope
on that. Yeah, you got to
I
hope
really-
that they
Absolute
build.
false hope.
He might not be, but like he's the best opportunity that we were going to get at the moment, I think.
But that is the team for him to make a statement against. It's his old team.
He did,
They
I would
kicked
say.
him.
Well, he waited till the fourth quarter, you know?
Yeah, so you waited the whole, the whole 75% of the game. You laid a goose egg, right? It's just absolutely terrible, and like that's a team. When you're playing against them, you need to get up for that game right away. The energy's got to be there. You just have to be throwing left and right down the field, right? That's like, it's just that's terrible. I don't know. He let me down. Well, he didn't let me down. I actually expected that, to be honest, but. I don't know.
I think he did pretty good. I mean,
underwhelmed.
He did. All right, he did bad. Yes, he did bad for the beginning, but he started coming. He came back, and he put the Panthers up and to win. You know, and
he had a good fourth quarter, and that was about it. So you got to do more
He
than that.
lost to Jacoby Brissett.
I know.
I wouldn't say it's his fault there because he lost though. Well, yes, no, yes, and no, yes,
And on
no.
the opposite end, the Browns are like, hell yeah. I mean, they need to go at least, like we talked about, like half and half.
Yeah.
Who do they
Before
play
Deshaun
next
gets
week?
back.
Do we know?
They can win
Steelers?
2 more.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, they tend to play the Steelers like fairly
A
early
lot.
in the season.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah, twice a year.
They play the Jets,
They play them.
So they might start 2-0.
especially with how the Jets looked.
Wow.
Jeez.
So Deshaun could get a nice little comfortable 7-4 coming in.
Ooh,
Could
that's
you
gonna
imagine?
That's going to make our
It's
division
tough.
standings look a whole lot different.
Yeah. We'll have to continue to track this. I mean, it's one of the most interesting stories in the NFL this season. So
And he's a guaranteed for only 6, right?
11.
Wait, 11. Sorry,
11.
Yeah.
11 games.
11.
Guaranteed. Okay.
Wow, could it be more?
No.
No, it's 11. It's
11.
Flat rate.
Yeah, flat rate. No buybacks.
Yeah,
It was 6 back in the day, but then they added on.
Back
Right?
in the day.
It doesn't
Yeah.
fluctuate. It's just flat. Like, you know.
It was fluctuating back in the day.
When I think back in the day, I'm like
okay.
6-year-old on a swing set.
Yeah, like back in the day equals like
Okay,
8 years.
fair enough.
Minimum.
Yeah. Almost a decade or more.
Yep. All right. Well, that was like good instant reactions. I think we're gonna start trying to do audio only, quick sessions on Sundays to capture more of this stuff.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
love talking about football, but we also want to have a podcast that suits everybody too.
Yeah.
Kind of like our stuff has been on the off season. So, working out the kinks. That's good. Another thing that we said we were gonna do at the beginning, we're gonna play a little game.
Yeah. So it's
Ooh.
game time,
It's
baby.
game
Is
time.
it game time?
GT.
Look at this. Look at this
I'm
face.
excited. I'm excited
Daniel's
because
so
I'm in
happy.
charge, and this is gonna be like a really like quick like thing, kind of. So I'm gonna hand out these papers here. We only get one pen, I guess, but here, everyone take a paper here. Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Okay.
Well, if I knew we needed more, I would have brought it.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
You're gonna write it down. Don't show your partner what you write down.
Partner.
Or the person sitting next to you. Sorry.
Okay.
So the 3 main ingredients to a 100 grand bar. Write it down. You have 10 seconds and pass on the pen.
But hold on though, like
3 main ingredients that are inside of it that like you can see, and it says it on the front of the thing.
right. But what
Start
if
writing.
I get them all and then he has to add to it?
No, everyone writes their what they think is the 3. Starting now, go.
Okay.
Don't let them see it. 3 things. You have 10 seconds and then pass the pen.
I guarantee he found this on Instagram.
Nope.
No?
This is my own thing. 3 things. Give me your paper. Put it right here, upside down in front of you. Actually, let me see it.
I don't think any of them. The one ingredient I put on there, I don't think technically is an ingredient, but it might be.
Love.
Okay, 5 seconds, Florian.
Honestly, I really did. I knew one for sure. Like one for sure.
think
Actually,
so.
2 for sure.
It's made with money.
Oh,
100
Okay,
grand.
I
Hey.
I think
Okay, I'm
everyone
gonna-
has like the common one in there.
Okay, so I'm gonna have someone read it. So the loser gets slapped in the face with a peanut butter, with a peanut butter hand.
With a knife?
No, it's just to get it on my hand. What? So
Oh, that's-
whoever's the most wrong gets slapped.
Oh,
right in the
this
face
right
with
here.
A little bit of peanut butter.
better be a soft slap. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it cannot be a Daniel. If it's a hard
All
slap,
right,
I'm
turn
gonna-
them over, and I have the 100 grand right here. Caramel chocolate Krispies,
I got crunch.
vegetable oil,
There's vegetable oil in that
chocolate
bitch.
milk Krispies, 2 out of 3. Nugget chocolate and crunch.
Nougat.
You got 2 out of 3.
There's vegetable oil in that bitch.
You're correct here. Let me
Better be a
get
soft
let me-
smack. All right, we got peanut butter today,
Okay.
boys. Hey, give me some jelly.
What the heck?
Dude, you better make sure there's no bears in the vicinity. They're going to be really
Can you
mad.
imagine? It kind of feels good. It's like I have like a face mask on, you know, like a spa. I'm in the
Hey,
spa.
However you want to spin that. I'm glad I said Rice Krispies. I knew there was a crunch in there, but I was not sure what the crunch was.
I just wrote crunch.
Is there caramel in there?
Yep.
I might take this home.
Dude, I kind of want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I do
right
like
now.
it 100
Hey,
grand.
if anything, I think I got all 3 because there technically is milk in there. There is chocolate. It's milk
See,
chocolate.
he was just going off like the 4 right here.
I
There's
get
definitely
it.
vegetable oil.
Like
in
there's
it at some
100%
point.
vegetable oil.
Maybe from Cargill. You know?
But it's okay. I understand.
well, Daniel,
Florian, give me your water bottle.
Daniel, I like that. We're gonna try to incorporate a game each week. Try to. Before we jump into week 2 and kind of continue our conversation here, we actually did. We previewed it many times with the guests that we had, but we actually had our Flights of the Round Table fantasy football draft this past week. Before the season kicked off, and it was all the breweries that we had on there. It was actually very, very timely, which was good. We weren't there for 8 hours. We went to a brewery a couple weeks ago, and they were only in the 7th round despite drafting at 7:00. So just a little bit of a recap there is what I wanted to get to. We lost,
Recap.
sadly.
Yeah.
We lost. It wasn't
By how much, by the way?
I think I'm gonna eat this too.
it wasn't good. It was not good. I don't know what it was, but none of our players showed up. So we got to go back to the drawing board. And we kind of came up with, we have a name that we're going to talk about each week for the person that scores the fewest points. And I would love for Drew to, but he's eating in 100 grand. So what we're going to call that person, they're going to be the 2-ounce pour of the week.
I would hate to be the 2-ounce pour.
You don't want to be the 2-ounce pour of the week because you're just going to get talked about on the show.
That's not even a flight, you guys. This is 5 ounces.
Yeah.
Can you
Really?
imagine just a
Yeah, it's
2-ounce
5
pour?
ounce.
Wow.
So-
Wow, that's some shitty ass shit.
So they're going to be the 2-ounce pour of the week, and unfortunately,
It's is it us?
no, this week it was actually Jeff from Midnight Mulligan. He fell victim to the Cam Akers experience, like a lot of people did.
Really?
And that truly sunk him. He had a good week outside of that, but unfortunately, Cam Akers sunk him. So he is this week's 2-ounce pour of the week. I also want to go over top scorer from the past week. Scott from Legion. You guys remember big Trey Lance guy? Shout out to Scott. I drafted him, and yeah, it didn't help me very much this week, so thanks.
Yeah. Hey, but the weather.
Well, we'll see. I said I said in a note to him, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's not. We haven't written the book yet.
He's allergic.
Sorry, I'm allergic to peanut butter.
Oh God.
That would be a
Kill me
chaotic.
on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be a chaotic situation there.
That would be. I
I
got
chose
a
him.
cool picture from the Bears game though after they won.
Oh yeah, the Justin Fields.
Wow, sliding
It
in
was
the
so-
rain.
It was so wet, you know.
That's awesome. Well, the one picture I saw is it's like just a Justin Fields
wow.
sliding in. No, I agree.
You gotta love it. Just grown men, you know,
Yeah, you
doing
got-
their thing
dude.
after a dub.
Dude, they're just having fun.
Duh.
That almost sounded really bad for a second. I don't know why, but it went better than I thought.
We don't have to talk about it.
We'll see what happens with Trey Lance. No idea off of 1 week with bad weather, but he was able to put up 144 points with his quarterback only putting up 11.
Pretty good.
So that I think
Yeah.
is
I will say, if 140
good.
was a high score in our league, we had a pretty competitive league.
Yeah,
Typically,
Yeah.
you have somebody that gets at least 160, usually like a 170 or 80 type of guy.
I mean, honestly,
Once
I
a
feel
week.
like the last 2 years, it's been regularly in the 190s. Even like some people are getting up there.
For our league, like our personal league here,
Yeah.
like we're double flex, so that helps.
I
with
hit a
that.
170
That
this week.
helps,
I got 100.
I only won one of my leagues.
Oh, speaking of,
Sports Center.
getting into just a couple more things here. As I said, I want to make it just a weekly thing. I think it's important here. But we have the matchup, kind of our closest matchup of the week. We had Riley, our resident fan, or lost dog fan, and Scott, who was the winner who scored the most points. Riley had Russell Wilson and I think he had Jerry Jeudy, or it was either Jerry Jeudy or Melvin Gordon, one of the two. And I think had they not fumbled on the goal line and Russ actually thrown a touchdown when they were near the goal line, he
would've
would
won
have
the ball
won.
game.
So I was keeping track of that yesterday because I was actually a very, very close game. And I am hoping that we have that at some point soon. 'Cause this week was
our
not fun
team-
for us.
I mean, we have Chris Godwin, don't we, on our team?
Yeah, but he hurt
now
his
he's
hammy.
out.
He's out for a couple weeks.
That's a stinger because we were banking on DeAndre Hopkins coming back too.
Yeah.
So we're a little thin on wide receiver right now, boys, and quarterback.
Yeah,
We gotta make some
and
moves.
Quarterback, yeah.
I've already started sending inquiries.
Because
Don't worry.
Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara Zeke didn't even do good.
No, and Alvin Kamara's battling ribs.
So we're kind of hurting, boys.
Yeah, wow, we really are.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hey, just let me start wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
Final thing here.
hope
We this week play Mike Weaver from Devil's Logic. Both of us are 0-1, so one of us is going to finally get their first win. So
Okay.
hoping that, hopefully our team can actually,
So who on our
Get
team
the
is
first
out?
win.
Who's doubtful? Who's questionable?
we're going to have to move Godwin around because he's out. Outside of that, I think,
I thought he was on the bench already. Anyway,
no.
I think we got to start our 3 running backs again
Oh.
if Kamara is in.
Yeah, and I think with Dak out now, which we'll get into, or you already brought it up, with Dak out now, they're going to run Zeke hard. But he did not look particularly well running the ball Sunday nights, is kind of what I picked up on.
A lot of people are like that, but so we got a cool trailer for the Fantasy Football League. We'll post a whole league note. Dan did a really cool job putting that out there. Sorry, I kind of got a hiccup.
commissioner responsibilities.
Very good. Yes. So we'll get that posted.
Thank you.
Guys, let's pick some games.
But first,
for next week,
before we do that,
what should we do?
we do drink beer.
We do drink
So
beer.
what are we
Some of us drink
drinking?
water.
Some of us drink water. But Florian, what are we drinking today? What do we got
Okay,
here?
well, I'm having a very bland assortment of water. I had a bit of a wild weekend.
you want to talk us through it?
I
You
won't
might as
get
well
into
tell
too-
the fans.
I won't get into too much detail. Let's just Drew here was celebrating his 30th birthday, and 2 of our friends planned a party for him. We had a house party next door. A lot of people there invited. The anticipation was building. I mean, we all knew. Obviously, Drew didn't. And Daniel and I were tasked with taking Drew out for drinks to get him out of the house so the party can get set up, right? So we went to this place. It's actually a very cool bar. It's in an old jail, right? This is in downtown Belmont. If you're not familiar with that, it's a small town, right? So it's like the local jail from like 1852. You know,
It's literally called the Jailhouse.
it's called the Jailhouse, and it's a nice place, nice establishment, cigar lounge, and so that was the vibe, right? It was kind of like a classy thing. We did get cigars, which I think definitely contributed to my night. But I was feeling because Dan enlightened me to the wonders of Macallan's, and Macallan's is a great Scotch. It was good. So I was sipping Macallan's and on the rocks. Bullet on the rocks. I don't know how many cocktails I had. I think I had 3 or 4.
At least 3 or 4.
Yeah,
probably
right.
4.
And these were not they were not 2-ounce pours. These were heavy pours.
No.
They were big pours, too?
They were big pours. They're like halfway,
They were.
if not 3/4 of the way full of the glass. Like this guy was loading them up. My bill will tell you.
Yeah.
And so we were drinking those and smoking cigars, and an hour or two goes by, and we're watching football. I got a great buzz at this point going on, right? So I'm just absolutely plastered. And we get back to the house. We have the surprise celebration. Drew, didn't see it coming, which was great.
I did not. I was surprised.
Yeah. So
Thoroughly.
the party was a success. I don't really remember anything after walking into the house. That's all I do remember, to be honest. I just woke up Sunday morning with, the worst fucking hangover.
We were force fed Jello shots, regular shots,
Yeah.
and anything you can think of.
Right. So, with that being said, I'm going to take a little breather from alcohol for the week, right? So, today I'm just enjoying some nice seltzers, not alcoholic seltzers, just regular seltzer water. So that's what I'm drinking. But what the boys are drinking and what my responsibility is here is we're going to start off with the beers. You took the bottle away, but it was Mechtoberfest from
I'm a little ashamed.
OMB. Dan broke the code of our pod. We do tall boys, and he brought a glass bottle. But we'll we'll let bygones be bygones.
He's gonna go and get a pint can for us to replace the bottles.
Yeah, and so you'll see that on our social media eventually when we post that.
Thanks, guys.
Also, if you're in Charlotte, you know what OMB is, you know what the can looks like, but it's a great Oktoberfest. Dan
You know
says
the drill.
Dan says it's his favorite, which is high praise because I feel like you drink a lot of Oktoberfest.
Wow, man.
Next, we got it's a West Coast IPA from Offshore Beer. Where are they located? That's interesting.
They are. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, doesn't say.
Don't matter. West Coast.
West Coast, yeah. Boys, how is it? Have you had it yet?
Yeah, no, very, very much liked it.
Yeah.
I would say it's a little more fruity.
I
than
like
most West
that
Coast
too,
I've
and it
had.
is a little bit more fruity, and I like it a lot.
Yeah. So on ranking against other West Coast IPAs, what do you give a decimal score? Figure skating
Not
score?
a fan because I think most West Coast that I've had taste completely different than that. I like uniqueness, but with a specific genre that I do enjoy, like West Coast, it went too far.
It's straight.
I
too far
have
from
to
the
say
truth.
something. I absolutely love it. I know it's very, very good actually.
Yeah.
And I disagree with the bad situation, whatever he's saying over here, because it's great.
I'll
Right.
apologize. I don't like that at all.
What?
I don't like that
Okay.
beer at all.
Well,
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, wow.
crazy.
God, you had the inaugural taste test
Dude,
there.
I'm tasting like peanut butter in my beer. I wonder why.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Just getting little hints from your beard. It's
Yeah.
like when people have like meat in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Okay. Next, we have Pumpkin Latte Blonde Ale from Sycamore Brewing. Guys, what do you think? Dan was saying he doesn't really fuck with pumpkins anymore. So
It's okay.
yeah,
I actually don't. For it being a pumpkin and like coffee,
that
tasting,
literally like
it's not that bad.
so that has the smell of coffee.
Yeah, it does.
Like the minute I take a sip, I'm like, oh, like okay, like there's coffee. The pumpkin actually is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's not that
well, it
bad.
sounds like
Okay.
that might be the first Sycamore beer I actually like. So,
Why don't you have
no,
one?
that's not true. I've had Sycamore beers. Some of them are good. It's just again IPA heavy, but I digress. Last but not least, it's Dream Patch. It's a sour ale with cherry, blueberries, and raspberries. I mean, that just
is
sounds like right
so
up my
good.
alley.
It's pretty good.
Sounds right up my alley. And they're from Omegang Brewery.
Yeah.
Okay, where are they from? You know that you're familiar
I
with
actually
the
think
work?
they're up in Asheville, to be honest.
On my gang.
On the road again, oh my gang, on
And
the road again. oh my
brewed
gang.
in partnership with Leafmans, wherever that is.
Leaf
So-
Mans. What about Treemans?
It sounds like a Leaf
Bushmans.
Erickson brewery. Leaf
Ooh, it does. Viking themed.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, very cool can. Nice artwork.
you just brought up a great idea. A Viking brewery.
Ooh.
Everybody has to wear like the Viking. You get like a beard and a hat, and you have to have a stein the whole time.
I
regardless of
guarantee
what
they
the
have
beer
that
is.
in Minnesota.
We need. To
I
find
like that because I'm a Viking. I mean, basically.
guys.
So.
I mean, that's almost as good idea as my
Ethnically,
two-way
yes.
petting zoo. Two-way petting zoo is the way to go.
It's got a
Two-way
T-Rex.
petting
in
zoo.
it.
Two-way petting zoo?
Yeah, you pet the animals and they pet you.
Oh, yeah.
You know some people are signing up for that. Like,
Yeah,
they don't even want to go to regular zoos just to get pet by an animal.
They don't even want to pet the animals. They just want to get pet.
Now, I'm confused.
Fucking
I
weird
mean,
with
that.
that.
technically already exists, right? You go to any petting zoo, you can touch the animal and they'll touch you back, right? So,
What animal is touching you back?
I mean, with their head, a goat will just hit you in the shoulder or in the hip with its horns.
have you done that with a goat before?
No, I
What, do
mean,
you
I've been
walk
to a
over
petting zoo.
stuff?
Yeah,
Sheep, though, might
actually,
do that. I've
I
done that with
have-
sheep.
Yeah, I have been decked by a goat. Yeah.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
why I go.
like I, go to touch her, and then
Oh
it does a little
my
thing where they get on the
God.
two legs and then claw like that. That's happened.
A
Yeah.
llama,
My
a llama bit
goodness.
me on the hand.
Yeah,
a llama
so-
bit me on the hand. I tried to feed it. It bit the shit
Oh,
out of my hand.
you can't get more two-way than that.
You know what would be fun if we did a mobile episode in the petting zoo? That's it.
That'd be chaotic, but
like the way in the
Anthony,
car.
Anthony
I
might
hope you
be a
have
little
insurance on all of your equipment.
'Cause it's about to get pet.
Yeah, that goat is going right for the camera. She's gonna smash it.
Is that the one we drive? Like the drive one? Like the drive-through one?
Like Jurassic Park?
Nice.
like-
No,
No.
that's where
What's
we
it
need to
called?
go.
What's it called?
Yeah,
That, the
it's
one
by
you
it's
drive
by
through.
Kerrigan Farms. I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm never doing that. I'm not sacrificing my car for this.
We're not doing my
Someone
car.
told me Charlotte doesn't even have a zoo.
No,
that
I
is
told you-
crazy.
I told
to
you
me.
that.
Doesn't,
You told me that?
North
Nuts.
Carolina only has one zoo.
Yeah, and it's in Ashboro.
Wow.
Not even Asheville. Ashboro.
It's like that's like Pepsi to Coke right there.
Yeah, the closest one actually would technically be Columbia Zoo.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Let's take a field trip.
I like field
I
trips.
I think I was saying that earlier. I've been like in the mood to go to the zoo. I don't know why, but like I haven't been to the zoo in years.
I've been there not too long ago.
See some animals,
All right. Speaking of field trips, when you were a kid, real quick, what was better field trip? Pumpkin patch or apple orchard?
Didn't do either of them.
Yeah,
Really?
I never got a field trip to
You?
both of those.
Yeah.
Oh,
That sounds like
all
such
right.
a
I didn't
Midwest
either.
thing.
We are going to change the subject.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
do have
a
a
private school type of thing.
Yeah.
I do have a funny story about a field trip.
Which is kind of fucked up, right? Because you pay a lot of money to go to those schools, and those sound lame. I went to SeaWorld one year.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
Damn. That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I
Dan,
did too, actually.
Did you have a story real
I
quick?
do. I have a short, funny story for you guys about a field trip. So, you guys, I have to use the bathroom periodically throughout the day. When I was younger, we went somewhere where they were giving us like waters and stuff, and I drank a lot of the waters, and we're driving back, and I asked the bus driver and the teacher to stop. Well, they wouldn't. So any young 5-year-old, you know what the 5-year-old did. My dad came into the school and ripped them a new one for not letting me go to the bathroom. He was like I've never seen him that angry
Wow.
at somebody.
Wow.
Like to this day, you've never seen Mr. Radijak at that level.
No.
Wow. Let
No.
your kids pee.
Yeah, he was not. He was like,
I
yeah,
know-
I'm not going to get into the
Dan's
language,
had a
but he was
peeing
not.
problem since he was 5 years.
I remember one time, this was back in high school, me and Dan were playing video games at his house, and his dad was like, Dan, get your ass down here.
Give me
And
my fucking
And
sweatpants.
I'm just sitting there like, oh, shit. The door's wide open. I mean, they're right downstairs. Like, the game room's here. You walk around the banister, go down the stairs, and he just ripped him a new one right there. I'm like, Jesus, does he know
Yeah.
I'm here?
He didn't give a shit.
It's kind of
I just didn't
embarrassing.
want to be even cited.
Yeah.
Floyd's like, let me get the fuck out of here.
All right, so let's get the fuck out of this topic.
Yeah, we started to
and let's
veer off the road.
let's go down to the old pick'em lane. Let's
go.
Let's
like
take
this.
let's take three of the top games I would consider for this week coming in. I want you guys to have an open mind with these, right?
I do.
There were a lot of upsets with these last week, So let's get into this, okay? We have a good Thursday night matchup, which is kind of funny because when this episode is posted, it's going to be Friday. So it's like, oh, are these guys telling the truth? Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 3.5 points. Who are you guys picking straight up to win this football game?
Chiefs.
I have to choose the Chiefs. I lost the bet. Well, I wanted. Yeah, we'll not talk about betting right now, but Chiefs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs. Keenan Allen's out, so they're going to have Mike Williams, Josh Palmer in there. I don't know if J.C. Jackson's going to play, but even with a number one corner with Patrick Mahomes, I don't really think it matters. So it's so hard to beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. It's so hard.
I mean, didn't that impress you so much? The Chiefs, how they dismantled the Cardinals like that in Week 1.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I think last year the Chiefs got off to a rough start, but like they aren't skipping a beat like between when they were dominant the last like 2 and 3 years.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying.
And you would think with the loss of Tyreek Hill being arguably the best wide receiver in the game, right? Like where the touchdown's going to come from. Sure, they got Smith-Schuster, but no one expected him to really do anything. He's clear. He's not a clear number 1. He's a number 2 at best, right?
At the
Dude,
moment.
they are spreading the ball around. Everyone's going to eat. Everyone's going to eat.
Everyone's going to eat.
The resurgence of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, fantasy-wise, I mean, at least fantasy-wise,
He's back,
fantasy
baby.
owners are like, wow,
Yeah.
where was this last
2
year?
touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. He's going to
So
keep
saying.
I
Keep
am
going.
going to differentiate with you guys just because I think the NFL is such a league of parity. It's a weird league. And like if you take the results of Sunday, you absolutely 100% think the Chiefs are going to win. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm saying the Chargers are going to win. So I think they played the harder team last week. They looked better the whole game. I'm not even the biggest Chargers fan. I don't even have the Chargers making the playoffs, but I think they're going to take this game against the Chiefs on a Thursday night, short week, when the Chiefs showed a lot of ammunition.
I one thing I want to say about Patrick Mahomes, I think he saw what people were saying about Tyreek. Like, Tyreek essentially made him. I think he's saying, I'll show you that that's not the case. So that's why he made sure he spread that ball around.
Makes me want to double down on the Chiefs.
Dude, he spread that ball more than Daniel did that peanut butter on my face.
Yeah.
Oh.
No spreads.
No spread.
All right, so we got 3 Chargers, 1 Chief there. Next
sir.
game on Sunday. This will be a nice primetime game, a little Florian special considering he's a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
We have Miami at Baltimore. Baltimore is favored by 3.5 as well. Baltimore had a great win against the Jets. Miami looked pretty good in their matchup against the Patriots. What are you guys thinking here?
I can easily go
I'm
first.
not going first.
I'll go first. I go Ravens. Lamar looked super comfortable. I think he was comfortable. He was just having a good day, wasn't stressing, just doing his thing.
But they played the Jets.
But he knew that though, and he was just getting back to comfortability. He knew he was going to win.
And the deep balls.
And the deep balls.
I understand.
So
You
think,
played the Patriots. I don't want to hear that.
yeah,
They're better than the Jets.
I'm picking the Ravens. I saw a lot of throws from Tua on Sunday that with better corners, those balls get intercepted. He still made mistakes with a much more inferior defense, and I think Baltimore's defense will make him pay for those mistakes. So, Tyreek, he can only mask so much. I'm sure you guys saw the pass where he yanked it out of the defender's hand. You're not going to do that with Marlon Humphrey or Marcus Peters or any of those guys over there. It's not going to happen. Give me the Ravens.
I do think what is interesting, I like the pick with the Ravens, but I think what is interesting too is like the Tua usage, right? He was like 8 receptions for 90 yards. Like that is not typical. I said Tua, didn't I? I meant Tyreek Hill. That is not like typical usage of Tyreek Hill, right? He's like bomb down the field, maybe 5 catches a game, but one of them is like a 70 or 80 yarder, right? So I thought that was interesting. I did.
Is it more so how Mike McDaniels wants to use Tua?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what it is. He's trying to maximize his quarterback's strengths while also hiding the weaknesses too.
This offense is all about yak, and I'm not talking about cognac, okay? This is all
Yakking.
yards after
I wish
catch.
you were.
And so Tyreek Hill can fit in either system. He can be a deep threat, right? And like you said, 5 receptions, but one of those is for a 70-yard bomb. Or he can get 8 to 10 and then just, run rampant. And
He
still
had
get
8 for 90.
Yeah,
Which is a
exactly.
great stat line.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be biased. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I actually think they win it, and it's not going to be because of the offense. It's because the defense is going to win them this game. The defense is going to pressure the shit out of Lamar Jackson. I really think so. I love our defensive front. I'm expecting a big game from the safety Javon Holland. I'm expecting a huge game from him. He is going to be he's pressuring. He's actually, I think, going to be responsible for containing Lamar Jackson when he goes out for runs. That's what I think he's gonna be known for in this game.
I think he's going to follow Mark Andrews.
You think he's going to follow Mark Andrews?
I
Very,
think
very
that
solid.
your defense is really good, and I am worried about that.
They have to contain Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
and a safety, especially with his talent and his speed. I
got
think
Howard out there.
Because Howard and Byron Jones are not going. They're going to guard the receivers.
Yeah, so
it's not up to them to.
And I think you
contain.
bring up a good point. You look at like how Lamar scored on the Jets. It was 3 deep balls essentially, but the Dolphins secondary is at least top 5 in the league, and I don't think some of that's going to fly. If the Ravens cannot establish a run game, they're going to struggle in this game. But I think they will. I have the Ravens as well, barely. If I'm a betting man, I'm taking the Dolphins and the points.
Yeah.
I think it's a 2 to 1 point game. And I'm going to go Ravens just because I do think Lamar is on a mission this year.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to get that top contract in the NFL. And there is some motivation with that. Like, imagine if someone came up to you and was like, if you do this little better, you'll be the best NFL player in the league. Like, that's the motivation that I think is going to carry all year. And I think it shows here.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. I think if just one more thing, I think if Baltimore wins a turnover battle, they win the game.
I like that.
That's kind of my thought there.
And I will say about the Dolphins, too. We talked about how they have to make the playoffs. Well, they have to sweep the Patriots. And step 1 was done. So.
Yeah. They did a good job.
This game is very important. We have a super hard schedule. I mean, we can go through it, and anyone can look at it. It is a tough schedule, right? I think it's the Ravens this week. It's either next week or the week after we play the Bengals too, right? And I don't expect the Bengals to have another stinker like they did last week. So, this first stretch of 6 games is widely important. Hell, I think we play the Bills maybe next week. So, this is almost already a must-win to get off on a good foot. The Patriots, we handled business like we needed to, but this one, it's a good road test for McDaniels. For sure. And a lot of people are saying he outcoached Bill Belichick on Sunday. I mean, he was going in his bag in terms of plays. He really was. He was dialing up some really good creative plays. So.
Yeah, he is a great signing for the team. So is Tyreek Hill. This is going to be a fun game to watch. I can't wait for 1 o'clock on Sunday.
If Lamar doesn't show up to run, then I'm worried.
Yeah.
So moving on here, can't wait for that game. Monday night, we actually have 2 Monday night games. One that stands out to me is Minnesota. They are going to play the Eagles. Minnesota looked very precise, looked very explosive, and kind of centered their whole game, and especially at the line of scrimmage, getting Justin Jefferson the looks he needed. Their offense looks elite. And they're going against Dan's favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles are actually favored in this game.
By two
By
and a half.
2.5 is what I saw. So interesting there.
Just like you, Florian, I'm going last.
But Eagles won too. Eagles, they had the second most points scored this past week. I think that's very big, especially for Jalen Hurts, because people questioned his ability to have a high-functioning offense. They did it against at least, at a minimum, mediocre team. So a lot to like in this game. Who wants to kick this bad boy off?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think they win straight up. I like what I saw from your running. Your running game is ridiculous. You guys had 200 and close to 250 rushing yards.
Yeah, and Hurts threw for over 250. So.
It wasn't a great team, but that's fine. I mean, I don't think at this point the Packers are a great team, so you can say the same thing about the Vikings. I just like your home field. I really like home field advantage in this, and it's definitely going to be a close game. It's a great line. So, yeah, I'm going with the Eagles.
Like it?
I'll go next. I go to the Eagles, too. I was a little disappointed in with Smitty's action because I don't know. He got 0 points from me. And I really thought that he was going to be potentially the number 1 even over AJ Brown, but no, AJ Brown proved that he's the number 1, 100%. And that made me a little sad because I thought that it might change here though in the next week or two for teams. They're like, okay, he's the number 1. We're gonna guard him, and then Smitty's open all the time with long runs down the sideline. That's what I want.
Could be setting it up.
So I'm hoping that's gonna happen, and I hope everyone stays healthy on the team and Hurts runs that ball because I have him in a lot of my fantasy teams. So
yeah, I was mostly impressed last week with AJ Brown. Definitely, I mean he kind of took over, especially downfield. It was like the perfect piece that Jalen Hurts needed. And you talk about Tua, right? The perfect piece is Tyreek Hill because he can get open in any percentage. Tua kind of struggles downfield a little bit. But Jalen Hurts, he's more of like a wild ball. He has the arm. He's always on the run, right? He needs just a big body. And like we showed last week, like A.J. Brown is that perfect match for him. Mm-hmm. And so I take all that into account. You know, Eagles are at home, and I do think they're going to win this game, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, man, a clean sweep. I don't know how I feel about that.
What if he went Vikings?
No. I'm going to take Philadelphia. Shocker. I loved what I saw from Jalen Hurts last week. The offense, I get it was with, an inferior team, but you beat the teams in front of you. I think Smitty's going to have a big game. Jalen's going to ball out at home. He plays very, very well at home, especially when there's people already upset that he ran from the pocket instead of stepping into throws. I'm like, guys, he won the game. What do you guys want from this guy? And I think the defense is going to have a bounce back. They got 2 lackadaisical in the second half. And from what I saw in the second half of that Packers-Vikings game, they minimized Justin Jefferson. They still lost, but they minimized Justin Jefferson. So the Philadelphia needs to mirror that blueprint and pressure Kirk Cousins.
You're telling me they minimized Justin Jefferson? He had a hell of a game.
He had 130 at half and finished with 155 for the game.
155 yards?
Yeah, he ended the first half
touchdowns.
But he ended the first half with 130, so they obviously made an adjustment in the second half, which is what Philadelphia needs to do.
Okay.
So, give me the Eagles, 100%.
I think Big Play Slay lives up to his name in this game.
I tweeted, when Justin Jefferson is in the game, that's who needs to follow him the entire game.
Whole game, even in the locker room at halftime.
There was a few
He
plays.
shows up in a car. Whoa, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm running with you.
No, yeah, because there was a few plays where Slay got caught lacking a little bit last week. He gave up a touchdown. It was
great coverage. It's just it was a better play by the quarterback.
Yeah, but it was tight space. I think he could make that play, right? At least get the guy out of bounds. But I'm not here to dog him. I actually think he bounces back and he has a great game. I think he can, and I think he will cover Jefferson just about as good as anyone can.
Yeah, and you talk about the great play there, and like Jared Goff. It's so funny with Jared Goff. He shows us flashes of why he was the number 1 pick at times, but then others he just looks like
Sometimes it's like,
doesn't even know how you play football.
are you an NFL quarterback?
Yeah, he's never mediocre. It's always like I'm on or I'm off.
Yeah.
And Sean McVay was like, I don't want any of that anymore.
I know.
I'm gonna be sneaking away at a meeting to go and watch this game. I'm gonna be in Chicago next week, and there's a dinner from 6:30 to 9 o'clock Chicago time, so I'm already an hour behind. So I talked to somebody that was at one a couple weeks ago. I said, hey, can I cut out if I need to? He goes, you can try. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna try. We're gonna be watching at the table.
Hell yeah!
I can't believe you're not going to a Bears game. Oh,
they're not home.
Oh,
and I tried to see if the Cubs are home, and the Cubs aren't home. The only team's home is the White Sox. And I don't know if I want to go and watch the White Sox.
Why not?
Dude, literally seats right next to the third baseline are $60.
You should definitely
That's a lot
do that
for the White Sox.
I might go and do that,
Go to Chicago Bulls training camp.
$60 right next to the third baseline. That's where you should go.
I think is Charlotte FC playing Chicago Fire in Chicago?
Oh, no, I don't know. Are they?
Maybe. It's coming. It's either this weekend or next weekend. So,
well, yeah.
and Dan's like, I'd rather go to the meeting.
the one away fan.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be alone by yourself at the top corner of the stadium. Let's go.
Well, gentlemen, we talked about this in our opening. I think it's time to get to Daniel's favorite segment.
I forgot about that.
It's time for...
How can you forget?
Drum roll, boys. Drum roll.
Shouldn't have.
Daniel's a doofus time. I wasn't here last week, so why don't you fill the folks in on what happened, and then let's hear kind of what the locks are for this week.
Yeah, what is Daniel's doofus?
Daniel's a doofus is me taking some bets. Stupid, sometimes smart. Mm-hmm. Last week, I thought it was a smart bet. It ended up being stupid. And a doofus bet. I took the Panthers, and they lost. They had a chance to win though, and they blew it.
Well, you lost a bet by half a point.
I did. Mm-hmm. I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sucks.
It happens. Gambling. Yeah, it happens, and on to the next week.
Yeah. Hey.
So what does it look like this week?
Next week up.
Let me tell you, boys. All right, the two games I have chosen for this week are the Bengals versus the Cowboys. I take Bengals -8, but I buy 1.5 points. Saints versus the Bucks, and I take the Bucks -3. Now, which one do you like better?
So essentially, the Bengals need to win by 10.
8.5 or
No.
9.
By 7.
6.5
No, 6.5. Sorry.
Over.
over the Cowboys.
Over the
God,
Cowboys.
yes.
In
they're
Cincy?
they're -6.5 in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, I guess. You have to double check on that for me.
Okay, I'll check.
And then Saints versus the Bucks. I would say I take the Bucks -3. I mean, that's a
I'm
pretty
taking.
good
I'm
line.
betting the house on Cincinnati. You're going to tell me Cooper Rush is going to
Yeah.
go in with them coming off of a bullshit loss, and they're going to take them.
And they don't have a starting quarterback.
Bengals win by double digits.
Remember that? They don't have a starting quarterback, Cowboys.
Yeah.
No,
They have
I
Cooper
agree.
Rush, who Skip Bayless said that I should have drew is about the same as Dak Prescott, sometimes more consistent.
So you're
Hell.
telling me to bet the house on the Bengals?
That's what we're saying. We're not saying it, but we're saying
Your
it.
entire mortgage
No, it's in Arlington.
doesn't matter.
It's in
Doesn't
Tex-
matter.
It's in Dallas.
Bet the house.
It's in Dallas.
I don't know. Well, it's 6.5 points though, so that you buying the points actually makes this a lot better. Because 8 is, it's like you said, NFL's full of parity. I don't know,
Guys, we have an option of taking Saints versus Bucks. Bucks -3.
Yeah,
That sounds
but
pretty good to me.
it's like sure, it's a good bet, but it sounds kind of like the easy way out. And I like that you bought the
It
points for
does.
Cincinnati.
You think that's the easy way? The point is to choose the easiest bet here.
Yes, Cincinnati against Dallas.
Also, it is in New
Do it.
Orleans. It's a divisional game that factors in. It's an away game that factors in.
Jameis going against his old team. Michael Thomas looking like a top 10 wide receiver again.
Yeah, the Michael Thomas aspect is very interesting for that game, actually, because he did look great.
So you're not
last
worried
week.
about anything about Cowboys? Anything about
I mean,
Cowboys?
you just got to take in all the factors. The offensive line sucks. They don't have their top wide receiver is an absolute no-show.
They don't have a starting quarterback?
They just lost their starting quarterback. Ezekiel Elliott, I can't find him anywhere, and
Yeah.
he's on my fantasy team.
Even on MapQuest.
And I'm not sure if Trevon Diggs did anything, but did he?
He had balls thrown over his head and gave like the wag despite not doing anything.
Okay, so you bought the points. It helps. 6.5 is. I mean, it's a tub.
Just with the Bucks, the one thing we didn't talk about. Anybody see how good Julio looked? Anybody see that?
Yeah, he did.
He had a deep ball, and I think he
Julio
had 4
was looking
catches.
real nice.
Really?
Real nice.
He had 3 receptions, I think, like 60 yards, almost 70 yards.
But he
something
was
like that.
moving quick.
Yeah, he was.
He looked back to like Julio's speed.
But
I
they
like
were
that.
using him like as a gadget player, kind of.
little gadget.
I don't know. My vote is I like the Cincinnati pick,
yeah, I'm
it's more
Cincinnati.
interesting.
Cincinnati.
but
I think they both win. I really hope I hope both picks do win.
All right,
But,
so tell the audience.
Tell-
all right.
us your
So
lock of
Daniel's
the
the
week.
doofus lock of the week is Bengals versus Cowboys. Daniel's the doofus chooses Bengals -6.5 because I take a 1.5 in points.
I like it.
Okay, love it.
6.5.
Yeah.
Love it. Awesome.
I mean, that's a huge difference for that bet. I'm not gonna lie. It's big. It's a touchdown or to 10 points. So yeah.
Before we get out of here, I feel like we haven't done this in a couple weeks. I got to hear good thing of the week. You know what I mean? I feel like it's been so long since like we've because we've been doing live shows and stuff. But I'd like
Yep,
to hear
yep.
that. So I'm gonna throw it to you. What good thing of the week for you, Drewski?
Oh, man. Obviously, I think the good thing of the week was the surprise 30th birthday party, you know? Everybody except you
Pain.
that I
Lot of
appreciate, and Charlotte was there. So,
Thanks, buddy.
You
Wow.
Burn.
I hate everything.
Man, good thing of the week. Gosh, it was hard because I was gonna say hopefully the Panthers won this week, but they didn't.
You
so
sous vide the hell out of a pork chop.
you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
take that
Dude,
as my.
no cap. Best pork chop we can all say we've ever had.
Yeah.
That was spectacular. He sous vide it.
Tasty.
It was good, and you're making me want to go do something again right after the podcast, do something crazy. So that was my thing of the week. So
Nice. My thing of the week is the first time I haven't been hungover in 2.5 days. I feel great. Felt refreshed. That hangover carried over to yesterday. That was crazy. Honestly, it was nuts. I woke
happens.
up in the morning feeling weird. That was my
Okay.
alarm. Sorry.
Yeah, jeez, man, thanks.
So,
Do you even care?
yeah. Yeah, that's my good thing of the week. I mean, can't get any better than that than a clear mind.
Cool.
Okay.
What about you, Dan?
For me, I got that promotion I've been working on for months.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Finally coming
Nice.
through. It's going to start in October. So
Love that.
Awesome.
very
Love that.
happy about that. Got that news yesterday. Karen surprised me with crumble cookies and a Chipotle burrito whenever I got home yesterday.
Oh, you know what? That just sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
yeah.
both.
it was great.
It's a great combo of food.
But boys, sadly, it's time to get out of here.
Time to get out.
I hate it. It's the worst part of the week, but it's time. It's time to wrap it up there. So,
I don't wrap up.
Cool. Let's get out of here.
jeez. Make sure you guys give us a like, comment, subscribe on all of our social media platforms. This episode is going to be posted Friday morning, per usual. Look out for more updates on our fantasy football league throughout the week. We're going to have, as Drew alluded to, trailer as well as the commissioner note out there. Just kind of get people's reactions. We're very excited for this league. Happy that everybody that who's involved with it. And this has been episode 41 of the Flights of the Round Table
It
podcast.
has.
Hope
yeah.
everyone has a wonderful day, wonderful week, but these guys will be talking to you next week. I'll actually be out again next week. So
Wow.
I'll talk to you guys in a
man.
couple
Selfish.
weeks.